want as much as you
Okay.
want on your end. We're
Okay.
down for whatever you want to do. That's
Okay.
Blue Baby. Give love unto
Yep,
everybody.
that's
Use us up.
right. That's nice. Yep.
But see, it's not going to start over there because I just recognize that you may be able to get some of the comments over here. I'll go back
Okay.
and forth and see. But before we go any further, Glue Land, let me gather myself so I won't be fangirling out over here over the bandits who are just regular everyday people that just took
We
up the
are.
RV. Yeah, that took up the RV life. So let me welcome you to Bluality TV, partnership style. Of course, you all know that this is my partner Nikki, and I am Capri. And in Glue Land, we believe that God loves unconditionally everyone, and it is our duty to give love unto everyone, even you, even me. And this is our way of giving love back unto the Adventure Bandits because they have held us up or glued us up over the last 4 years and definitely through the pandemic by watching their YouTube channel. Babe, anything you want to say to?
No, we just appreciate you taking the time. We know you all are super busy, and after the GlampOut, I know you're still trying to unwind and relax and manage your own personal life. So we appreciate you taking the time. We're still new and finding our identity in the camping world. So we appreciate you all with such a following giving us this opportunity to interview you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
It's a pleasure being here.
Yeah. And we, as you know, we have fun.
Yes.
We like to, I mean, we have fun. We understand, the community is loving, it is
Yes.
kind, and God is all that for sure.
You
Yes.
better talk that talk. That's Glue Baby. We want to start with some questions. I'm still stuck on your first video when you all was in Denver at the
Yes, she
Embassy
is.
Suites and how you were sitting at the table going back and forth with each other, at each other, and on each other in your relationship style way. I like how you two interact and the jokes that you were making about the afterlife and traveling and what you're still gonna do. Does that still uphold? And did you all think that you would be where you are today, sitting at that table at the NBC Suites?
First, let me say that is one of our very first videos.
Yeah.
Actually, it is our first.
Hmm.
I
Yeah.
don't I don't even think we was RVing at the time, or did we have an RV?
We weren't RVing, and if we, well, we were, but it was very minimal. We would always travel with a group of people during that time.
Hmm.
But just to go back a little bit, I don't even think back then we were Adventure Bandits.
Mm-mm.
We just recorded it. We recorded our interaction, and as you know, him being Talmange, me being Ashanti. For those that don't know who we are, that just tuned in, we have, that was probably even our first year of even being married. Now we're,
Our first year of being married.
well, what the beginning stage of being married. We're now 10 years strong, and I,
Okay.
and I would have to say he never remembers anything, but I would have to say yes, we still do that. We're how you see us on the video is how you see us in real life. So when someone meets us, they will say you're actually exactly how you are
Yeah.
in the video. So the going back and forth, the if something was God forbid that never happens, but if something was to happen to either one of us, we always go around and be like, oh yeah, you're gonna end up carrying an iPod, like one of those pod or one of the micro mini pods, because he
Uh-huh.
feels like I wouldn't be able to do this without him, which is going to be definitely a curveball. But I want him to know I will have him right there on my dashboard, and I will be in a class A, and he'll just be bobbing to a still, living life to the fullest with me, though, right?
Right.
And for
Right.
And
you,
that's why we love y'all and admire y'all and have that
Yeah.
energy with you because we're the
It's
same
we're the
way.
same, and it's so funny. I always wonder because I think Talmadge, your birthday's in May. Her birthday's in May,
All
and so
right.
you're both Tauruses. I'm a Libra. My birthday's in September, and so I see Ashanti's personality, and then seeing you in person, I said we're really similar. So we pick with each other all the time about, you know, oh my God, if you something happens, I'm gonna be out here, living my best life, basically. So um, we find a lot of similarities. So we get so tickled sometimes watching the videos. We be laughing in our living room. My dog is
I'm
like,
Talmange, and she's a
yes,
Ashanti.
yes, and I'm all about the bathrooms, and we're kind of
Yep.
fast forwarding through some of our questions. But I just want to say I appreciate you, Ashanti, for the bathroom review because let me tell you,
See?
it's serious business. And so I was so pleased when I got to Atwood. That was my first stop. I was like, we had my niece with me, and I was like, "Come on, we got to go in the bathroom." She was like, "Why? I don't have to pee." I was like, we need to check the bathrooms just in case. And so, but yeah, they were all that. So I have appreciated you over the years.
They were Ashanti approved.
They were, and Nikki approved because everywhere we go, that's my first stop. But yeah, we really like your interaction. So, we remember that video, and we were just so tickled with y'all sitting in that embassy suite. I said that sounds like us, and we've been together about
10 years,
11 years now, and it's a journey. It's a journey, but camping has really been one of those things that we can join together and have a common experience. Has it been that way for you all as well?
I would have to say yes. I want to speak on my end, but I want to hear his. I would have to say when we were first married, we had, and it's okay to have a different types of friends where you're single, you're married, and some are, living their best life even with being married. But I would have to say when we got together, because we weren't, married our first year. But we got to experience a lot of things, and we saw that when we started just camping, just with us or with like-minded individuals and couples, it was good therapy for us because it made us appreciate each other a lot more. I appreciate the fact that he's doing all that driving and he's getting us
All the
there
packing,
safely.
all that.
Yep, all that stuff. I give
Yeah.
you all your props. And then he likes it that, I'm making sure that he's fed well and he's getting that good, food and all that good stuff. So
That's right.
us was almost like counseling without and the therapist was the camping and the adventures and the different journeys and the explorers
Yeah.
we got to go on.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Shanti was long-winded. What was the question about? She
No,
make-
I was really just asking if camping is a way for you all to stay connected. When we started out doing a lot of different types of activities, and
camping in the name of mental health.
Was one of those things where it is just the two of us, and we could really connect to each other. And I love nature, and she's a city girl. I am too, but I grew up more enjoying the woods, and so I kind of had to drag her a little bit into the outdoors. But it's been a real way for us to connect, and so I was wondering if it's the same for you all.
Yeah, I would say yes. Yes. We do tend to spend more time when we're camping together.
Yeah.
But then again, though, I'm a homebody too when we're at home too, so spend time there too. She get on my nerves more at home than she does at camping. At least at camping, I can actually leave out the RV and go somewhere.
It's because he has a lot of projects he hasn't done, like our bathroom going on 9 years. But yeah.
Yeah, so it's interesting that we don't have a lot of camping friends yet. We've, as we said before, we are still tenting and dipping our toe into renting the RVs or whatever. But we have not been able to really connect to, other than outside of your group, like-minded camping friends. Like none of our other friends.
Let's just get to it. We want to talk about Black people camping.
Yeah, they're like, what?
It's hard to find. And did you all have that when you first thought about camping? Did it cross your mind? Hey, we're Black. We're not supposed to be camping. Is that a myth? Is that a thing?
Yeah, because even our families were like, "What? Where y'all going? What you doing? Are you gonna be okay?" Kind of thing. Was it something you all thought about?
I know from our experience, when we first started camping, we didn't see that many. But then after we started putting videos out, people started, a lot of Black people started saying, "Hey, we've been out here camping." So a lot of them saying they've been out here camping. And when you hear their stories, you hear that they've been camping for over 20, 30 years. We just heard somebody just yesterday say they've been camping for 30-something years.
So I would have to say, I was born in Ohio, raised in Alaska. My mom had me out there at a very early age tent camping. And
Okay.
it was a lot of people that was doing it, especially being in the military. And one of our military friends said, wait a minute, us as, former military people, they had us out there camping and as soon as we started. And if you really think about it, that's true. They're jumping out of the aircraft and they're having to stay remote somewhere in a sleeping bag, if that,
Right.
in a
Right.
tent. So we are out there. I think it's a big myth. And the reason why
Yes.
I think it's a myth is because it hasn't been exposed,
Well,
and now we have that exposure, and everyone is like, thank you for exposing it, because we have been out here. We're not maybe as frequent, or we weren't as frequent, but now you see minorities everywhere. It's not just black,
yeah,
it's Hispanics, it's um all type of nationality,
and that's why we always talk about community on our channel
and
because
diversity.
yes, is and that's why we formed the GlampOut. We starting to form all these other events to where we can actually get together as a community from 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 people like you guys came from Virginia. People come from all over that has the same that like
Like-minded
minded and want to be
attitude.
a part
Yeah,
of it. Yeah, that's why we
yeah,
formed this. Try to form a community
Yeah.
because it's people camping everywhere.
yeah.
You're right.
It
It's just
is.
bringing the thing about it is just bringing everybody together.
And bringing the
Yes.
exposure that it needs on our YouTube channel, which is Adventure Bandits, but you have other YouTubers that are also, exposing it as well, and people on, Facebook. So I think the more that we can get out there as far as exposing that we're all out here and we can live in unity with one another.
Right.
We have spoken to probably 8 of our neighbors, and it's just being out here, sitting out here, and they're saying, oh, I see you're from Ohio. Oh, how do you like that F 350? And then we're
Hmm.
asking them, how do you like that momentum? And, it brings out the ability to break the ice,
Yes.
where a lot of times you can't do that in your house or in your
Right.
condo or in your apartment.
Right.
You're just more so, closing your doors and shutting your window shades, because what you don't see out there, that doesn't pertain to you. But now
Right.
in the camping community, it does. So and you find out that you have a lot of common similarities. You might look different or whatever, but you have a lot of common denominators that make you one, equal. And like we said, it's a myth to me, because we're out here.
Yes, we are. And I appreciate that statement. That was very well put because we are out here. I grew up camping, tent camping, because I was in scouts. My mom was in the military for 30 years, active duty. And so she didn't necessarily camp with me because she was like, I'm doing all this for my job. I don't want to do it. But she made sure I had the experience. And
Yeah.
so, as an Army brat, we didn't move a tremendous amount, but I lived in Ohio for a hot minute, lived in Shaker Heights right outside of Cleveland when I was in like sixth grade. And, camped there, camped at Atwood when I was in Ohio. That's how I knew of Atwood. So,
Mhm.
just a full circle moment. But I think you're right. There are plenty of us, definitely Black people camping. And I think we are returning to those things in number. And
Yeah.
so for my niece, who was 9, seeing the diversity, seeing everybody come together, she was like, when are we going back? She didn't like the car ride, but she was like, it's too long, but she loved it. I mean, she found like your grandson. Oh, she said they were all soul sisters and the girls that she found. She's still just smiling about it and telling her sister, about it and how much fun she had. That was her very, very, very first camping experience of any type, any type. So I was, really, I was really just overwhelmed. She just had such every night. She was like, I'm just having the best time ever. I'm having the best time ever. This is,
That's
so
good. That is
yeah,
good.
it was really cute. But, we hear from our following all the time. Every year we do our big tent camping trip. Oh my God, Black people don't camp. why y'all going outside? Oh my God, and we constantly say how warm and inviting and open the camping community is. We have not ever had a conflict or issue driven by race at any site we've ever been to. Have you all ever experienced anything that you thought was a conflict driven by a racial issue?
I have to admit, out of all the years that we have been camping, we never experienced it.
We haven't
Ever.
either.
I
We haven't
mean,
either.
everywhere we went, everybody was so nice, but you can tell the ones that don't want to be bothered. They
Absolutely.
just don't look at you and they turn their heads, but that's fine with me, but we
Right.
never experienced it.
And then you would think, with all, because if you go to the campgrounds, you see a lot of the different flags that they fly, right? And so I know a lot of people had concerns. Oh, if I, park next to someone with this certain flag or that certain flag, there might be some, tension or whatever. And that is not the case.
Yeah.
That is not the case
Yeah.
whatsoever. So I think again, it's what you make it, and those people that don't really are not, you know, friendly. It's because they're not friendly towards anyone.
Right.
They're just there just to disconnect, and then
Hmm.
on top of it, you never know what that person has going on in their head, what they
Correct.
just heard when they just walked out their camper.
Right.
So you really don't, you can't say they're not friendly. It's just at that moment there may be some people that just want, they need time to be
Yeah.
left alone or whatever. But we've never ever experienced any type of racism or anything like that, or never felt unwelcome. That we have driven through a campground and we were like, this is kind of suspect. But I mean, it was suspect because it just didn't look right. But we left from that. It was nothing, that as far as being treated,
Right.
indifferent.
Well, I
So
hope everybody out there heard that, because you guys travel and are out here in these RV, streets per se, a lot more than we are. And, tent camping can be a little bit different. And we have primarily only camped in Virginia, but, Virginia, like a lot of southern states, has a reputation for certain types of behavior, but we have never experienced it. I mean, and during the pandemic, we camped and was next to a person who was flying a certain type of flag that, quite frankly, we were a little bit concerned about. They ended up being the very nicest folks
Same here.
ever.
We
You know what I
experienced the
mean?
same
We didn't
thing.
have any issue whatsoever. They were, almost in our campsite too much. We were like, okay, okay, y'all rented the one over there. Okay, go ahead on. But we've never had any issue. And I have to say that as, black, female, gay, sometimes it's that triple threat. So you never really know which angle people are coming from. But, we both work in, I work in mental health. She used to work in mental health and still does that, outside of her primary job. Um,
So that's
people,
why we go have the hashtag camping in the name of mental health. When you were
yeah,
speaking
I
earlier about the peace of mind,
right.
it's all about being a veteran. I didn't mean to cut you off, but I
That's okay.
apologize. Being a veteran and having been in a 3.5 month camping in the desert in Saudi Arabia, that was enough for me. So this camping in the name of mental health for me is allowing my mind to be in that environment in peace and not mentally bothered by the war and what was going on around me. So seeing a lot of veterans at your event, that really touched my heart. And on the way there, I saw a veteran and I told him, thank you for your service. And his wife was like, well, thank you for yours. And she pulled out, meant to have it, she pulled out a coin and was letting me know that every time she sees a veteran, she gives them that coin. So that part for me that feels America may not be the greatest right now. There's still some good people in it, and there's still some people that are welcoming, even when you feel like you're going to an environment where they're not. So thank you for providing that energy. It was just like I was teary-eyed seeing all the veterans there. So that touched my heart, and I thank you for that.
and I bet you I know who that is. That was probably Pilot Bill and his beautiful wife. She's a school teacher, I
Okay.
think.
It might have been.
And the reason why I know that is because we are so connected to the like-minded campers that come out to our events, because we've either sat down and talked to them. We get their story. Sometimes we can't make it to everybody, but we do our best to have a good relationship, rapport, and uh, he gave us a coin, but he also shared his amazing story. And a lot of times, what we forget is our, you know, those that served, you know, our country in any type of, you know, branch, the wives and the kids also deserve to hear that as well. Thank you for your service. And the reason why is because you held this person down, you supported them, and it was a lot placed on the, you know, the spouse and the children as well. So I mean, I come from a military family, so I know how that feels
Yeah,
to be that army brat, right?
yeah,
And
yeah.
it is a lot on the
It
family.
is.
A lot of times we take for granted. We don't, you know, and you going over to the Gulf War, you know, you hear the conditions that everyone had to, you know, be in, and
Mhm.
I can't even imagine it, even though I heard about it and
Yeah,
I experienced it, but I physically didn't experience it, right?
yeah,
So thank you for your service.
It's my honor. People think while I'm in the Air Force, I might not have been under those conditions, but trust me, they weren't all that great either.
Yep, yep, yep,
yeah.
yeah.
Okay, well, you know, other than that, we noticed and have followed you guys for so long. We're trying to figure out who's the gadgety person. Y'all have a lot of toys, which I love. I'm the gadgety person of us. So who's the who really wants the gadgets of the two of you?
That's me.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I always love tinkering. I love all kind of toys. Anything I can, play with that I find like a little challenging, I'm in for it.
Yeah. I'm
So
I'm
that,
always the one trying to order stuff and, oh, let's try this, let's do this, and but
hmm
she ends up tinkering with it. I just end up seeing it. So the battery packs, I'm currently obsessed with the whole battery banks and all kinds of lights and stuff. And it's a whole rabbit hole. So I get it. You can just be full
yes,
whole truck full of just toys. So but
yes, yes. We got a whole garage
I
full of.
believe it. Do you guys still get to boat as much as you used to?
Do we use the boat?
Yeah, do you still get to go out and boat?
We wish we could use it more, but lately we've been so busy.
Yeah.
We've looked at it more so than used it,
Yes. Last
unfortunately.
year, I think we only used it 3 times.
Yeah,
This year,
Oh
we
wow.
haven't even took it out yet.
and it's
Okay.
already
We bought it
July.
out, but ended up putting it back in storage.
Yep.
Hmm.
It's
Yeah.
there when you decide you're ready. What you say,
What's that?
Talman?
What's that?
I said it's there when you decide you're ready for it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yep.
Good to
Yep.
have.
It's like
Good
just
to
trying to
have.
find time to find time for it.
I actually think that boat was a COVID boat,
Hmm.
because we got it, and the reason why we got it is because we really couldn't take this out as much.
Hmm.
So that's when we used it a whole lot. Now that things have changed, things have opened up. Unfortunately, we can't take it. Well, we can, but we've been doing more out of state camping. So when we do, Ohio or something like that, that's when we find ourselves being able to take it out. But that also means I gotta drive it.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
but yeah, but hopefully we'll get to use it a little bit more.
So of all your toys, what's your favorite gadget, favorite toy right now?
Golf cart.
Oh yes.
I was
Yeah,
gonna say that for them.
yeah. The golf cart, you can do so much to it, and you can add a lot of different accessories to it and attachments to it, and and when you ride it, everybody looking at, oh, that's a nice golf cart. It's a good feeling. And we do like our
I like the scooters.
the Harley scooters as
Yeah,
well.
the low boy scooters.
Yeah,
Oh,
we
I
get
did.
stuff
Yes.
I
on
like
that a lot.
those. Yeah,
That's a
but
great segue into our GlampOut questions because what we want to know, you saw the different carts and the different bikes and the different scooters with all the lights. Is that like
Oh
a
my goodness.
camping thing? She calls them the golf cart game, and with the scooter game. It was
Yeah, the electric
electric bike game.
gang, because
Oh yeah.
we were on B loop, and so every night there was a whole group that would come through with the golf carts. They had the music, and it was like a
The
parade.
lights.
Had the lights. It was a vibe. It really was. And so I was like,
We gotta get
I was
some
like,
of
we're
that.
so glad we don't have any toys. And so, I mean, it was like our wind down party. You know, we waited for them to come through, and then it was a group that would come through with the bikes that had the lights in the spokes and wheels. And I said, this is a real, like, people are serious business about these golf carts and these bikes. I mean,
they serious about them.
They were. I
mean,
bet you
super.
that was probably Camp Station, and they were in G. And then Legendary RVers, they come by and they had the big fat bike tires with the lights on them. So
yes.
yeah.
They
I
were right
can tell
around
you,
from us. Yes. Mhm.
Yep. That you're right. So that is I would call them the biker gang, the electric e-bike gang. I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, they be serious about it.
And they are, and they were partying too. I mean, I was like, they had the tunes were, I mean, they were coming through, and I was like, wow, okay, we gotta step our game up a little bit. Like, we behind the times. Hold on.
So really being entertained all day, huh?
Oh yes, we really were. I mean, it was like it was so much to see that we still felt like we couldn't see, you know, and just the whole culture of it. I mean, we were just, it was almost like overwhelming. It was so much because it was just such a welcoming, calming feeling, that same spirit
Like,
that
is
you're
this
talking
really
about. Like,
going
is it
on
really
and we
real?
missing it?
Because I think
Yeah.
we all have been searching for, you know, a way in a community in which we can reconnect. You know, pandemic was so crazy. You know, when you think about it, it's like, did that really happen? But then coming to the GlampOut, it was a way to, I mean, there was no conflict. There were people, everybody was so nice. I mean, you could, like you said, you could walk with the people and say, I mean, I went to Hampton University, which is a HBCU here in Virginia, and we were waiting to sign up for cornhole. And this guy was just like, what you know about my alma mater? And I was like, what? You know, like, you never think about connecting in that way. And that would never happen just in the regular grocery store. You know what I mean? Like, so I just felt like, oh, this is such a great community. We were so welcome. Everybody was so nice. I mean, we just had a ball. And so it was so much that we saw and so much that we didn't see. And so it was just like, wow. So just thank you for that. But
a lot going on.
it was.
Talmange, before we go on from the gadget question, I got a question for you. I'm assuming it's you. The editing work of your videos, do you do that yourself? And what programs do you use? And what equipment do you all use for your, I think I saw your GoPros. And that's the techie in me that is going to expand my YouTube territory.
I do it myself. I do all the editing myself. I use a software, but the software is just an editing software, and it's probably from what I heard people say, it's probably one of the harder software to use. I use Premiere Elements, and with Premiere Elements, you got Photoshop and everything, but I use the video version of it. They got Premiere Pro and Premiere.
That's the one I use.
Which one?
Premiere Pro.
Yeah, Premiere Pro. Yeah, I use the Elements. I don't know why. I just use Elements, and I've been using that for years, and I pretty much got a hang of it.
I'm learning it, and it's frustrating. Is that a right to be frustrated?
What's that?
Is it okay to be frustrated?
It is. It's okay. It's okay. You just got to work at it. It's like a learning curve. I'm still learning different things to do with it. So yeah, I've been actually learning for the last 3 years. I find out something new, how to every time I use them, find out something new. Or I go to YouTube. I go to YouTube and I find out how to do certain things, and I implement that into my editing as well.
I stay on YouTube doing the same thing. I keep it on beside me while I'm editing on Premiere Pro to go along with it. So I just want to make sure that I'm not losing my glue mind, because sometimes I just want to throw that laptop and say, let me just pay somebody.
It's like that. Like a lot of times I forget to save a video. I'll be halfway done with the videos. And a lot of our videos be 30 minutes long. And imagine being you got 20 minutes of video up there. Next thing you know, you lose it all after you did all that editing.
Yeah, trust me,
And that did
we're out in our
very
garage now, and
frustrating.
she's out here. Sometimes I hear her yelling and cursing, and I'm like, "Oh Lord, I'm not even gonna open the door." I don't. She lost the video, something's happened, and I'll just crack
Yeah.
the door, like, "You all right?" and close it back.
Sometimes your laptop freezes up. You're like, oh no, I didn't save it.
Mm-hmm.
So you get that.
We've even had where we lost a lot of our footage, our
Yeah.
hard drive. That's
Hard
when,
drive crashed.
yeah, and that's when that's almost like accidentally, like, I don't know, doing the worst thing you could possibly do to yourself. Here he is, we have all this, content and footage that we were able to get, and now we can't get it. And unfortunately, we gotta, maybe share with a park manager or someone that, sorry, we lost our footage, so we'll have to visit, your place again. So I would just say, just, have, grace and mercy on yourself, and know that, it was a mistake, and it's a good learning lesson. Now he saves all the time. He's pushing the save button. So you learn something from it. Whenever something bad happens, you can always learn something good from it.
You just said something, Ashanti, about the connection with the campsite management. So, and I'm a business person, and I'm a techie geek in that way. So the business side, when you say connection with the business management, makes me want to go deeper into how you all are connected with the camping community and the people in the office. That it's not just what we see you having fun. This is a business for you. So how do you all balance business? And as I said to Talmadge earlier, it seems as if you're on a constant vacation. Where does business start and vacation stop? And how do you all go about getting your sponsors as well?
Well, I think for us, a lot of times I will say, we're the Adventure Bandits, and we're coming to, stay at your facility. So with that being said, we share with them who that we're already YouTubers. It's for them to go and seek to find out, exactly, you know, your following or whatever. But I would prefer for us to go and review someone's park, because then I can give my honest opinion about it. So if you have horrible bathrooms, you're going to be exposed for having horrible bathrooms. So that's the part where I say sometimes you're connected with the park manager, because a lot of times that park manager, if you gave them a good review, they'll be like, "Oh, thank you for coming, to stay with us, and we're getting a lot of business from you," and stuff like that. Sometimes you can work something out with the park manager, and then sometimes they don't have those type of, perks for someone that is a YouTuber. And as far as sponsors, to be honest with you, they come to us. They will email the Adventure Bandits one at gmail.com, and based on a product review or whatever that we've done, they will ask to work with us. Additionally, and the fact that we are trying to build a community with like-minded individuals, diversity, it doesn't matter, race, creed, gender, it doesn't matter, political uh, concerns or whatever. We're bringing a community together, and we're exposing that everybody can live out here, peacefully. And
You're
I think
not trying.
what, right,
Say
right,
it
and that's
again?
what sponsors like, right?
Did she answer your question?
Yes.
Yes. And I want to tell you, you're not trying, you're doing it. You're gluing up
Yes,
the community in
exactly.
your own way. And I see that, and I appreciate you for that, because y'all are definitely giving love onto everyone in your own Adventure Bandit way. And that's
Yeah.
why we like you all. What's your
Thank
question?
you.
I want to pivot a little bit, still in the techie gadgety, but are you planning any upgrades to your RV, or, upgrading your RV? I know this is the second, maybe second one after the whole tree debacle. Are you happy with the rig you have now, or are you planning to upgrade soon?
Well, um, we're happy with it, but it is some things that I would like more. I would like more storage, and this RV don't offer the storage aspect of it.
Okay.
So we right now our options is open. We're planning on going to a couple different RV shows to see what we can see or what we can find.
Okay.
Um, but we're not looking. We're not, we're looking, but we're not looking. We're not in a rush to get anything.
Okay.
They're like,
Yeah.
I'm not looking.
But if something do come up, we probably will pull the trigger on it. If not, we're not in a rush, because we like with the newer truck. Now we got more space in the truck bed
Mm,
versus the last truck was only a 6 foot truck bed. This one is an 8, so it's like a big difference.
okay.
So we're able to carry more and tow more. Where like once we get to the park, she usually give me a lot of stuff to put in the truck bed where it's out of the way. It's not in our RV.
Hmm.
So it's been working out for us lately.
Okay.
I will have to say we are more than grateful for what we have. And I love the washer and dryer.
Yeah.
He got his kitchen that he doesn't use. I would have to say definitely we need more storage. But what had happened was when he told me about getting the F-350, he said, "You do know that means we could possibly get, the toy hauler that I'm wanting."
Mm,
And so that's how he sold me on the truck.
okay.
Over here saying, "Oh, I don't know." Well, I would have to say, if by chance we can find the right layout in a toy hauler, because with a toy hauler, it's that you got a small living space.
Yeah. Yeah.
They expect you to live in that, in your garage.
Pretty much.
Well, I want I want the L, like a L-shaped living room, because
Uh-huh.
I want, like, we like to entertain, we like to bring our grandkids,
Yeah.
and the only time we would be able to bring all the grandkids is if we had a little bit more of a living space, or just take them outside and let them sleep in the garage. But like I said, we can't buy for our grandkids. We
Yeah.
want to buy the toy hauler for what we want and our needs. So hopefully, when we go to the Hershey show and the Tampa show and the other shows that are going to be in the Carolinas, we're able to find a floor plan that works best for us. And since he already got the horse, then if I bat my eyes enough, hopefully he'll just be like, "Okay, let's go, let's do
Yeah.
it." He can't give me any excuses whatsoever.
Right. Right. Yeah. We've been to probably 4 RV shows. As like I said, we've been, back and forth, get a RV, something. But what would you recommend for people who are thinking about buying their first camper? What styles, what brands that you know
And
of?
would you go used first?
Yeah, and would you buy a used rig these days?
I would suggest you go use first versus buying something new. See if you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people buy RVs, they just jump in, and they don't even like it. Um, yeah, so our first RV was a used RV. It was a fixer upper.
Okay.
So we completely regutted the RV, and as we started camping, we started liking it. So after that, I think a year later, we sold the RV for double of what we paid for it and got a new RV.
Yep.
Yeah. So I say go use, see if you're gonna like it. And another thing, use having a used RV give you a chance to practice on your backing up, your driving, your
Yeah.
how to hook up the sewage hoses and stuff like that. Versus you get a new one, you back it up into a pole. There you go. With
Right.
a used one, you can try a used one. You can put a Band-Aid over. Say, okay, it's used anyway. So,
Yeah, exactly. What
And
about van life? Are you I'm sorry, go ahead.
oh no, I was gonna say, when we got our used camper, we made sure it didn't have any additional tenants in it. So I would
Hmm.
have to say, I would like this. I would have to say you do got to be careful when you buy used, but there's a lot of used rigs, campers out there. And then, like you said, I mean, we found a fixer upper where it was a shell, and we bought it for $1,700, and we made it us. We replaced the toilet, we replaced the bed, we replaced. So there was so many things that, even though it was a fixer upper, we put new stuff in there to where it felt like we were the first time owners of it. And that is how we were able to sell it for almost triple for what we have bought it for, actually.
Did we miss these videos online?
He has pictures, and actually he should be posting the pictures because we didn't have a video of it.
Yeah,
but
we
took
didn't have
a lot of pictures
we
of
wasn't
it.
even YouTubers when we first started
Yeah.
RVing.
Okay.
But I
But
have
do
pictures
have,
of
we
them.
do have pictures
Yeah.
of how it used to look and where it came from.
Yep.
And
Yep.
that takes me back to one. Go ahead, Ashanti. What you about
Oh
to
no,
say?
I was saying, so that is one of the reasons why I would say
For
suggest to do, a used one, and it was a couples coach as well. So it was a couples coach, but it had bunk beds in the event that our kids or our grandkids wanted to stay in there, but we ended up using it for storage. So
At what point did you all decide to pick up the camera and go YouTubing and vlogging and Bandits Out? When did that all start?
It started. I want to say it started like what 2 years after we started camping, 2 or 3 years after. We used to camp with a group at first, and after the group broke up, we started camping on our own. That's when I decided. I always had a camera with us, but never used it for vlogging. One day I was looking at some videos, some camping videos, and I'm looking at how people was camping. Like I'm looking at the I'm looking at the camp, and I'm like, wow, that looked boring. I said we have fun when we do it. Yeah, I said we have fun when we do it, and that what made me pick up a camera. I always had the camera with me. I just started recording it, recording all the fun that we had, and that's how everything pretty much took off.
And then the Bandits Out right there, that happened. We were wanting something that was us. We wanted something that shared with others, that we out of here and we're gonna come back. And it was our way of closing out with a bang. So, and then when we open it back up, when you see, a lot of people said, well, I hated to hear that one song, and then you see the Bandits Out, and they was like, oh, we want more. So
Yeah.
that's something that you know we try to put our own Adventure Bandit twist to it, and it has worked
Because
a
when
lot
you
of
stopped there, when you one day it just stopped on a couple videos, and I pointed out to her, I was like, "Babe, they're not doing the Bandits Out anymore. What's wrong? Why they not doing it? I need it back." So I started doing it to the TV for you.
Yeah. Well, thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
she
you.
definitely missed it. She noticed it immediately. She was like, "Why they not doing that signature?" Out?
Yep.
I was like, "I don't know."
We still do it, but a lot of times we forget to close the video. So that's why you don't see the out. We forget, like, well, because we think we're gonna record the next day, then we end up not recording, so we don't get the opportunity to close it up right.
And we're having so much fun.
Yeah.
So like we're gonna probably record today, and right now he brought it out a couple of times.
I haven't used it yet,
but he hasn't really used it, right?
We've been here in South Carolina for the last 3 or 4 days, and I haven't brought out the camera yet.
Yeah,
but we're gonna have to bring it out.
Yeah.
We did say that we were doing a taping with you guys, so that'll be in our video.
That's cool, baby. Thank you for that. Before we get on, I apologize. What you say?
Oh no, I was saying absolutely.
Thank you. Before we go on to the GlampOut questions, I got 2 more questions for you about relationship thing. I'm all about giving love unto everyone, and you all are in a tight space all the time, different personalities. Who keeps who calm, or how you go about that? Keeping each other glued up. You work from home, you're traveling in a tight space together, and life happens. Who keeps who? Who's the glue saw?
Go ahead.
Glue.
I always say this. Sometimes you got to pick your battles, right? So sometimes you got to pick your battles. Is it worth it? Is it not? And then at the end of the day, we as married or as spouses, period, whoever, you say certain things, and sometimes you can't take a word back. So sometimes you just got to be just mindful that hey, let's go for a walk, and that kind of like breaks that tension, or that break whatever is going on. Let's go for a walk, and let's go, or let's hop on Frog, and let's see what's going on. So I think with us being together, we kind of know when we're rubbing each other the wrong way. So
I would just say what I gotta say and hurry up and leave out the door, leave her fussing by herself.
He has done that too.
Leave her in there fussing. I'll be out the door. I already got my word in.
So you get your lick and you run, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I think, we observe so many couples as, you even when you're tenting, whatever kind of camping you're doing, you're in a small space, especially the setup and breakdown can be so stressful for whatever reason.
Yes.
And we watch so many couples, fussing and cussing, but they were perfectly loving by the time they leave. And we even were tenting one year, and a couple came across. They were across from us, and they had cussed and fussed so hard. I mean, trying to get that RV in that space. And she came. She said, "I'm so sorry. My husband and I, we've been married like 30 years. But when I tell you they were going at it, I mean, they were on the walkie-talkie. She was cussing him. I mean, something terrible." And she was like, "We're so sorry. We apologize." And so we realized in that moment, like, okay, you're living in a small space. At that time, it was the height of the pandemic. Everybody was kind of stressed. But it takes some work to kind of negotiate and, keep things, level. So.
And then sometimes, hey, things are going to be said. And it's the fact that you come back together. You guys have a strong bond and strong love. And, tomorrow is a new day. My grandma always say, "Don't go to bed mad."
Yes.
And sometimes I got to remember that. So, but tomorrow is a different day. You pick things right back up, and you have a new experience. So,
yeah, that's very true. We try to, let it go as much as we can before we lay down. Neither one of us are too big on arguing, but I would say we're last worders. You know what I mean? So we're last worders. We're last worders. So sometimes it's like, all right, now somebody got to walk away. So probably if anybody walk away, it's me, because I'll take the dog and go for a walk and let her figure it out, because I'm not.
Yeah, figure it out again.
But yeah, so I guess we can go on to our GlampOut questions. I specifically want to know, is this going to only be an annual event, or are you thinking about maybe doing a GlampOut more than once a year? I know you're doing your Bandit Bash, but the GlampOut specifically, are you going to keep it to just once a year?
People have been asking us, can we do it twice a year? But it so much goes into it.
I can see that.
So much goes into it, and after this GlampOut, we had to start preparing for the bash in Florida.
Right.
So we're trying to do it where it's different locations, and hopefully people want to travel. Like, okay, we do Ohio in June. We can go to Florida in Ocala in October. Make them want to travel to a different scenery.
Yeah,
and a whole different vibe.
But to answer your question, we plan on we are open to at least doing them 4 times a year. But the GlampOut is going to be our biggest one, because that's going to be our hometown. And then we're going to have other mini GlampOuts or Bandit Bashes, or whatever we're going to call it. But the Bandit Bash, we're supposed to have 150 people there. So
we're going to try to make that smaller. We want a much smaller event where we can actually hang out and have fun with it.
Mm-hmm. And even when I say 150, that's 150 sites.
Right, which is still a lot.
Yeah, it's still a lot, because you're still going to possibly have around 300 people. Right. But, it's going to be totally different from the GlampOut, where the GlampOut, you had the band, the jazz, and, all this. Well, for the bash, we're going to have, we may have midnight bingo instead of daytime bingo. So we're going to switch it up.
We're going to try to do excursions as well.
And do more excursions, stuff like that.
Fun stuff like boat riding.
Yeah. like they have Silver Springs there, so why not, go and try to do a canoe or paddleboarding or a glass bottom boat sightseeing tour, because Silver Springs is known for, that's where they filmed Tarzan at.
Oh,
So, there's monkeys there and you hear them and you see them.
Lord.
Who would want to see a monkey, right?
Right.
And then see the manatees and stuff like that. So it's going to be still nature, but it's going to be a different type of nature from what we did at the GlampOut.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. So I hope to see you guys back at the GlampOut, because also even with the GlampOut, we're going to keep changing it up and we're going to add stuff to it. We're going to add like maybe 3 other things to it that nobody knows about. So it's going to be really nice. Some more things for you to contemplate on. Wow, what should we do? And that's what we want you to do. We want to give you an itinerary or an agenda so you can peruse it and be like, okay, let's do this, 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 and this. And then, when you look at all the things that you've done, while at the GlampOut, you'll be like, okay, we've learned some stuff and we got to, like you said, you got to experience some stuff.
Yeah. I want you all to add a glue spot for me so I can just get the interviews of your GlampOut guests as they're coming through, so we can put that up on social media. Okay, I want you to put that out into the universe.
She's the ultimate person. That's really what drives her, and she loves to get everybody's story. She loves to hear, what motivates people, why you did all the things, so she loves to just sit in the corner, talk to folks. And I think because I talk as a therapist all the time, sometimes I'm a little bit more quiet, but we share that love. So she would just be, that's all she really did. I mean, she did the cornhole and then she started talking to everybody. And I looked around, I was like, Lord, she's gone again. I mean, just talking to everybody. And Mrs. So-and-so over here. And I was like, okay, well, she's really having a good time. But she talked to some of everybody. So
And I seen her making her way around, working her way around.
Come back to the RV and be like, babe, did you meet so and so? And I was like, no, I didn't make it around. I met so and so. I went over here, and I was like, okay, enjoy it.
I'm reading in your comment where someone said, that they're single. Our events had a lot of single people there.
Yeah.
They actually came there to meet a like-minded person that also likes the camping industry and community. So we find a lot of people that are married and they're like, oh, I gotta drag my wife or I have to drag my spouse into camping, right? Or I'm dating and the people that I date, they don't want anything to do with camping. Well, you're coming to the GlampOut, and so this person is already liking the camping lifestyle, and this person could be single and this other person could be single.
Hey,
we're making it happen. We're also doing the love connection.
That's
Pretty
right.
simple.
I was saying maybe that's the activity you can put on the agenda. Do a what is it? Match game? No.
Yeah, a single
connection. That's exactly right. Single social. That's right.
Yeah. Hey. So we might add that in there too. So the person
I can host it for you.
Yeah. See, the person that's on here saying, but I'm single, come on. We got you.
Right.
And that's glue, baby. We gonna always have you. I see who you are. Come on through. We love on you. You won't be single when you leave.
That's right.
What other questions we have, baby? What do you all want to share about the GlampOut? Let's give that to you for that moment, because it was your event and you needed to glue saw your soul when it was over. And how has that time been for you as well?
Well, I would say the GlampOut, again, it was all about bringing that community together. The GlampOut to us was our baby. It's like a little our baby where you're seeing it, grow and bring so many different friends together, connections, and also the ability to even give something to the community, because we went ahead and we did a food drive, and we had monetary donations also be given to that shelter, and they were so appreciative. They said that you guys are the biggest contributors for this year that we've had.
Wow.
And thank you for it. And what we did was we gave a whole bunch of canned goods from everyone that attended. And I believe it was like over 400 something dollars that was donated also to the shelter. But that shelter was a lot of single individual men that were vets,
Mhm.
and also families that were wanting a hot meal. So, that shelter meant a lot to us too, because we felt like we were able to, our GlampOut was able to impact a shelter in a positive way, and show love again from the camping community. Because a lot of people be like, oh yeah, you guys are just campers. Well, no, we're a force to be reckoned with too.
That's
So
exactly.
we can do positive things. So I would have to say the GlampOut, that's what we hope to always do. And that is a goal, that's a vision, is to make something better every year and grow it even bigger. And town, I would have to say, as far as relaxing afterwards, we got our toes done in our hands,
Yay.
because we felt overworked a little bit, but
Oh, yeah.
he we treated ourselves to a foot massage.
All right. That sounds wonderful. Hey.
Talmange, that's a whole nother vlog, man, because you can talk to the fellas about taking care of them feet.
Yeah. Oh, especially after being in those hot boots all weekend.
Yes, sir.
Killing me.
Well, let me ask about your team, your GlampOut. I wanted to even give them appreciation
Yes.
because they came back to pick us up after wanting to catch the pontoon
Mhm.
boat, and we were in the wrong location. And Crystal and what's her husband's name? Justice. Crystal came back for us on the golf cart and took us to the rightful place. And all throughout the GlampOut, your team, when I say they was on it, and they were just admirable of you all as people, not as campers or friends. It was like they were your family, and they were protective of you all. And they made me jealous because I'm like, I need a glue team like that for myself when I'm hosting events or what have you. So give a shout out to your glue team. They were awesome.
Actually, our whole team is here in Carolina with us right now.
Well, not the entire team.
Not the entire team,
yeah, but Crystal, Justice, we have Crystal and James, Jordan. So Crystal, and because we have two Crystals, so Crystal and Justice Bay, we have Crystal and James Jordan, and we also have Quanda and James Johnson, and we have Jane and Tony Santiago, and then we also have
and that those are the people that was on our committee. They're actually here with us today.
They're here with us now. And then we have Latia from Alaska, who flew in just for that.
Okay.
We have also Tracy and Craig Bailey, Terry and Tom Smith, Heidi and Brian Wedge, Jennifer and Brian Roach, and I believe
we had a volunteer too.
And then we had volunteers
out of Arizona.
Yeah, we had some volunteers, and that was Rochelle. She was with Terry. I'm trying to remember the last name, but you're right. We can't do this at all without an amazing team. So, in order for it to be a success, you have to have people that are willing to not only keep you from being stressed out, they have to be willing to, protect you. They have to also get along. They have to love on each other, and they have to respect each other, and make sure that, they're good with each other as well. And when you have a group like that, you hold on to them for dear life.
Yes.
Because you know that they are going to be there for you without a shadow of a doubt, without any hesitation. And they're always going to want to do it. Okay, well, what would Ashanti want me to do? Or what would Talmange want me to do? They're going to do it to where they are representing you in the best way.
Well, they certainly did.
The same team we used from last year as well.
Okay.
So they pretty much got the hang of it, and they know what needs to be breakdown of what goes into the glamp
But
out.
we added some, team members as well, where this was their first year. But Crystal and Jesus, that was their second year. They are family. Yeah. So, and then we had the GlampOut taxi that was going around that we wanted, to be able to shuttle people to and fro as well. But I will make sure I tell them that you guys said something
Yes.
about them.
No, I was just saying, they really represented you well. They really were professional and polite, and because people were excited and wanted to know all the information right now, and it can test your patience, after a while. But they were to a T. I never saw any frustration. I never saw any attitude, nothing. And so they really, 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 and when they talked about you, honestly, I'm a therapist, so I kind of sometimes can sense different things. They really, you can tell they were protective not only of you as people, but your vision for your event, and that's super important. So they did a wonderful, wonderful job. So kudos to you and them.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We at that hour mark, and we want you all to get back to your camping adventures as the bandits. It's 3 questions, and then you can answer them how you want, babe. I can't read that word. What's that say? What are the
some of it you've talked about a little bit. What do you look for in a campsite or campground when you're planning your events, either the GlampOut, Bandit Bash, whatever events you're planning? What are you looking for as you approach these sites, these campgrounds?
Somewhere clean, somewhere clean, and a place that has amenities. Um, that's our biggest thing. Last year when we first did our glamp out, it was dusty and even though it was a fun glamp out, we just didn't want to portray the glamp out like that. We wanted everything to be clean and neat and it ran good where people can come and enjoy themselves.
Right.
And I would have to say, if we're looking for a campground outside of us throwing an event, we look for a place that um, we can be able to explore outside as well, and have fun. But we still look for sometimes we look for amenities, but we even go to state parks. So, we look for, full hookup sometimes. If we can't get a full hookup, well then, we're looking for walking trails. We're looking for something that is going to occupy our time. As well, we could chill at the campsite as well. So camping is really what you want it to be. If you just want to, you know, let it be a rough, we're gonna go rough in it. We've done that, knowing that we were gonna rough it, and we just stayed at the campsite and we just cooked, and we had so much fun.
Yeah.
So basically, each campground is based on, I guess, what type of an adventure or that you're looking to have for that weekend.
And we notice you all like to do what we call concrete camping based on what we do in the woods camping. So it took some blue people like yourselves to bring us out of the woods to the concrete camp, because you're like, where the trees at?
Yeah.
Where the woods at?
Yeah. We just camped this year at Shenandoah National Park. So we tenting, you can kind of be in the woods. So we were like impressed with the concrete, and no trees this time at Atwood. So it's good.
We do them both. Tell you the truth,
Yeah.
we like the state parks as well as the private luxury parks. So it's either we can do them both.
But I am more of a glamper.
Yeah, it's like what we're in the mood for. Sometimes I like to just go camping and I would like to boat and fish, but it seemed like we got away from that. That's what I would like to get back to.
Okay.
All right, Ashanti and Talmadge, any glue words you all want to say to your following, our following today before you all leave?
I would say, just be yourselves, be welcoming, be inviting, but also be safe. Sometimes it takes you to break the ice, and sometimes it takes you to both to realize, let's just have a camping that's just with us. That way you appreciate each other or during that weekend. And I would say just keep making positive uh, videos like you're doing that shows the the world that we are here, and that we could look different, we could sound different, but we're still the same. We're still one. Nobody's better than the next. And
Okay,
for you,
so.
You said it all.
oh, see,
Whoa, I'm gonna play lottery today, Talmange.
I'm gonna replay this too to say, see, you said I said it all. So,
Enough said.
but
Well, Blue Land, we thank you for your time with Shanti and Talmadge beyond belief. Thank you for being one of our couple's goals. That's why we was fanning out, because we've accomplished something in our personal life by checking this off on our goal list and doing this
Awesome.
interview. It was anxiety causing for me because of your numbers, but I appreciate you for making me comfortable enough to know that you're just like me and you just love giving love unto everyone. Any words you want to say before we go,
No, I
baby?
just really appreciate it. I'm the crier, so I just really we appreciate you so much. It's something that we thought we would never get here, and so we're here. But we inspired
oh,
you, inspire us so much. Thank you. Keep doing what you're doing, and we'll see you again at the GlampOut Bandits Bash somewhere.
Yeah,
yep,
thank you. Thank you.
absolutely.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you guys for
Anytime.
having us and allowing us to interact with you guys. It's been amazing, and keep doing what you're doing.
Yes.
All right.
And hopefully I'm not posting too much on your bandits page. I try not to make it about.
Oh
All right, I
no,
want to make
post
it about.
away, post away. We love
That's
it.
right.
All right,
You're
All
gonna
Blue
be
right.
Man, you already know. Be you be great. Start your upper movement today, for tomorrow is not promised. Please get yourselves tested for HIV and know that no matter who you are, where you are in this thing called life, God loves unconditionally everyone, and it's our duty, live from the garage of giving, to give love unto everyone, even you, even me, and especially the Adventure Bandits 1 on YouTube.com. That's Louis Capri, baby. We love you all. Tell everybody that's Glue, baby.
That's glue,
That's
baby.
blue, baby.
That's Glue, baby. Thank you, too. Love
Bye.
you. Thank you. I'm gonna find that exit button soon. You still alive, but I got to go. How that feel, baby? You okay?
Yeah.
I love you too. That's Blue and Capri, baby. That's Nikki, baby. We love y'all. Go camping.